Hey, it's Ted here. I like my last video I made about the telescoping movement stands. Um, this one is on to make objectives. I'm getting into a new miniature game, Imperial Skies, flying battleships, fighting ships. Um, but I ordered a couple packs of miniatures. I'm waiting for them to come in. So I'm going to do some objectives. These are going to be either for bombing raids or raids or something. So I looked around the internet. I got some ideas. Found some stuff. First one here is this is I made some oil storage, oil fuel storage. There's some pop bottle lids on a base. Uh, Painted up, which will be coming later for one objective. Another one, the miniatures are about that are coming. Most people rate Maulers by 1/700 scale. I picked up some of these 1/700 scale diorama sets. This is a harbor set to build the next objective. It has a warehouse, some more oil storage, and a crane. So I had some wood bases laying around. So I'm gonna paint these up. Uh, Put these on. I got some little greeblies, which are just parts of the sprue it came with. I'm putting down so that on the base to make it a little bit more used and stuff. Then paint it up. And one other thing I found is this. This will be used for the ships too. They're kind of hard to see, but they're 1/7 scale sailors. These are Russians for World War One, but at this size, it doesn't really matter what nation they belong to or not. So they're just photo etched, and they're actually painted too. So no have to worry about painting. So I got these. So I'm gonna put. You can just take these and just drop them in around to add some workmen. And once the ships come and once the ships are done, I'm gonna be doing a little extra stuff with the ships. These ships are for Brigade Games. I picked up some other photo etch. I'm gonna try my hand at putting some railings on the ship's railings. They got ladders. Ship with sailors aboard, and also another add-on kit is I picked this up. It's World War II, but a lot of the guns kind of fit into like a steampunk vibe because they're kind of modern. Now these are for Japanese warships, but so we can use them as anti-aircraft guns or anti-ship guns, or you can add them to like you got searchlights and this says radar, but you can use them as horns, listening horns and stuff. And they do have depth charges. They have floating depth charges in the game. But on the other side, got some more. You got some more. You got some torpedo launchers, some anti-aircraft, and you got ships' boats. So you can put ships' boats out and you got fancy radar. You can use those special Tesla items or something like that. So, which I'll be showing these once the ships come in. I get ready and get them going. I'll show you about these. But today, I'm showing off. I'm gonna be showing steps after I prime them, paint them, and stuff. What they look like once I'm done. It's not gonna be very much have to do because they're not part of the game. They're just I say a focal point of a mission or something. So, to stand by, I'll be showing some more. All right, now I got these primed. I just primed these in white, and I just painted this gray for the color scheme. Most of the buildings are gonna be gray anyway, so not really much color here. So we're gonna start with the two white ones, um, the the oil tanks, which I basically I'm gonna paint them white, because they're gonna be ether tanks for my for the air battle. So I'm gonna use Soul Blight Gray. It's a Citadel shade color. Mix it up. I put a ball bearing in these. It just helps mix up the paint. And this AK ball bearings. This pack of those. And with this, crack that open. Get a brush. I'm just slap this gray on. All right, I got the gray on there, so I just need to let this dry up. I can go on to the next step. Now, for the crane, this I'm just going to paint it red. Yeah, I'm going to try this new color, contrast Doomfire Magenta. I haven't tried this color yet, so I want to see what this looks like. So let's get there. Pop that. Ooh. Yeah, yeah. It's an interesting color. I said it doesn't have to look historical or anything like that because this is alternate history. So let's take this and just slap it on there. Oh, we'll be back in a minute when I got everything all done. All right. So I got the red all done. I make sure I get all the little nooks and crannies and make sure I got everything. So I'm letting that dry. So I'm going to do the roof on this. I'm just going to use a contrast black Legion. This for the roof. Get some of that in the brush and just coat it on. Get the sides. Yep, good. Put that aside, let that dry. Now on to these. I'm gonna paint the. I'm gonna paint everything black up here because I think about doing these, like the the roofs, and probably a metallic. So I'll probably just leave those gray because I'll just dry brush those with white, give a non-metallic look to them. Building, but I'm gonna paint this black and these. I'm just gonna use the contrast. Get, but just carefully go around the bottom. So like the white ones I got here are gonna be ether tanks. This is gonna be a regular oil storage tank because they might have ether for flight and stuff, but they still use steam engines and gas engines for propulsion. Actually, I might do those in brown, like a brown warehouse. So, yeah, okay, this. So basically, like this here, this dock, I'm doing it this way on its own separate, so I can use this on any terrain. So if I'm doing it on land and stuff, I can put this next to a river or lake, something. Then you got regular docks. But this way, you can place it on like a if you're doing like Mars, you got red board. You plop that down and just be a naval docking base. Or if you're doing Venus, you can have this like in the clouds on ether balloons, just floating in the clouds. So it makes it more versatile than so you won't be locked into one kind of thing. So if I did this with like the water and docks, then I'm stuck with basically an Earth type planet. Which I'm not doing intergalactic, just intersystem planets. So on a building, I can go with a brown, like a dark brown for aged and stuff, or something. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I got this new color here. It's a Berserker Bloodshade. Let's try this. That's what this looks like. It's like a reddish brown. I'll pop that open. Pop a ball bearing in there. Get the pigment all mixed together. So I'm using a darker shade on this, so it's gonna look different than if you just use white. So this make it a little bit darker, but depends on where you have it. It's gonna be weather beaten and stuff like that. I mean, it's just a warehouse, so it's gonna get beaten up and heavily weathered by the elements and stuff. So nope, not that brush. That brush. So pop this on. And I said, like, with these shades and stuff of contrast paint, you just don't know what you might get. But I said I'm going for a different look. I mean, I said it's like it doesn't have to be a star. I can paint the barns red if I wanted to, or any other color. So it's all up to you what you're looking for, the colorize and stuff. But this be just regular brown. Yeah. So once I get all this done and start weathering it and putting different kind of inks and stuff on it, it'll darken it up. Paint the windows. Yeah. Some of the soak up some excess and use it. Because I'm trying to keep this gray because that's just going to be at concrete. I say if you kind of watch it in the paint because if you put too much on, it might pool at the bottom. So just empty your brush, dry it off, and just kind of go up and just soak up the excess. I say you don't have to really worry about if it gets onto that. You can always work that into your weathering because it'll be a whole bunch of different kind of spills and stuff like that on the dock. So something you don't really have to worry about. So I'll let that one dry. Now back. These are mostly dry. They might have to wait a few more minutes, but they're getting there. It's kind of help it out some by it's a bit thicker. Just kind of spread it out, help it dry out. I said if it's taking too long to dry, I said you can just set it outside in the sun or dry air, depending on where you're at, and just let it air dry. That will help take out a lot of the moisture. So, well, I just gotta let these dry for a bit. So we'll be back in a few minutes. All right, now everything's dried. I went ahead and painted the windows in on the gantry crane here. On the tank farm, I just painted the base and revetments here with silica gray. Just represents either concrete walls, or asphalt, or other substance. And on the rest of the harbor base, I just went ahead and painted the windows here. And I just use uh, Ezramin blue, a new contrast color, just for that to see how that works. Well, so next, and this would be easy. I'm just going to do some dry brushing. So for this, I'm just going to use white. I'm going to use Monolith White, bold titanium white. Love this company. If you want some good paints, the Monoliths are really good paints. So on this, I'm just going to do some dry brushing. Use this cap here. Oh, might help if I open the lid up farther. There we go. Alright, now need a big brush. Dab some off. And myself, I like to use the back of my hand just to get the right. You can use paper towel or whatever, but back of my hand, get the right color. And just kind of brush it on. So with this, for the roof, I'm going for a non-metallic metal, so it's like corrugated. But you can paint the roof any way you want on it, but I'm just going with a corrugated color. Now for the tanks, just kind of this way, just adds a little what shape to the edge of the black. You can see it better. And also, it does give a little weathering to it too. So same thing with everything else here. Now, take a little more. Now for the concrete for the dock. This adds a little flavor to the concrete, so it's just all gray and everything. It just gives it some. It's kind of bleached in the sun, and this concrete does get bleached out, so this adds a little bleaching effect to it. Because even after we're done here, I'm still going to go back over it with some other washes and stuff just to darken it down. Now, for this, well, the base is still drying, but I can come back and hit the tanks. Anyway, just come around and just. Yeah, that's it. These ones is like with the contrast color on the edges, it gives it the grayish effect and stuff. You really don't need to add any weathering stuff to it. It's already done. So go around, hit top. It doesn't take much. I mean, these have been out in the weather and stuff like that. So yeah, it doesn't take that much, and I'll let finish this drying. Now the gantry, I'm just going to paint the roof. Dry brush the roof a little bit, just add a little weathering to it. There you go. That's the roof. Now for the gantry itself. So you want this gantry's been out. It's been used for a while and stuff like that. So it does get nicks and paint does get chipped off it. So I'm going to go with a natural steel by AK metallic range. Another good line of paints. And like this, just like the other one, we're gonna dry brush this. And with this, just you can just brush it on. Just you can do this as heavy as you want, or as light as you want, or not at all if you want to be if you want freshly painted. But I'm going for a steampunk universe, so yeah, there's been wear and tear on this equipment. It's been It's been heavily used. Just keep brushing it on. And depending on how far you want to go with it. Add a little more to the. There you go. Get the insides too, the back side. All right. I'm I think I might come back to this. Add a little silver to that. All right. So I just gotta let that dry for a bit. There you go. Cleaned off. All right. Now I'm gonna add some washes to this, which is going to be easy. I'm just gonna use Nolan oil. Nice and simple. Uh, Nothing fancy. Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm just dabbing it on. Yeah, it's like steampunk universe. So there's a lot of stacks and smoke and stuff like that. So it should be kind of heavy weathered from all the soot and everything from that from industrial area era. But it's like they said, this is steampunk era, so it's even more dirty. Let's see, it won't show up by here, but just go and you can add some oil weathering to the base and stuff like that. You get too much, you can thin it out a little bit, smear it around. What it does add more flavor. It breaks up the concrete. I said if you get too much, you can always go back, thin it out. I will put some here so you get a nice dividing line on the roofs. A little bit too thick here. Oil spills. Yeah, that EPA hasn't been invented yet, so darken that up a little bit. Okay, so that's for the non-oil. Now we go do add some Anthrax Earthshade to it. Just so add some weathering. This the Anthrax non-oil wouldn't show up good on the brown. I mean on the black here, but Agarth does kind of show up a little bit more. So we'll just add some Agarth to the weathered here too. Mix them together. Overlap them. More soot to the roofs. That's over here. Right, just to kind of dab it around. No, it looks like a weathered duck. Yep, I mean, not going for any painting tournaments or anything like that. It just gives a nice weathered effect. So that's still Still drying. So this is dry. Okay, now we're gonna go back to the crane. We're gonna weather this up because this is out in the weather and everything. And then just take non-oil and just coat it in non-oil. Just to, make sure you get everything. Get inside here. Make sure you get the turntable. And just work your way through it. Just keep make sure you get all these joints and stuff like that. You just go over. I'll make them stand out until you can go on the inside. For this scale, a lot of stuff won't be seen. It's just too small. Most people won't be looking for it. So, but just a little on the inside, just to darken it up, and that's all you need to do to it. But let this dry. So I got the harbor main thing done. Got this going. I'm gonna go back to the. I'm going a little bit different. I'm going a little sepia. Yeah, Seraphim sepia. Add a little bit different. For this, I'm gonna add this. Add some different color, so different color weathering and stuff to the around these tanks. So if it's a little bit too thick, you can wipe it off, but you can take some water and just kind of go. And it thins it out. It makes it run. So you get your colors and stuff. Put some dirt, weathering on top. Dab it. There you go. Yeah, you don't want to go too far. You can overdo it, then it doesn't look good. So, and this added some weathering on the sides and let flow down. Oh. And this just go around. You can add some color to the base and stuff like that, just to break up the solid color. A little bit too much, you can dab it. There you go. Wind effect. So, yep. Basically, that's it. You can just be done with that. And you got a tank farm, just made from pop bottle lids. Now, coming back to the harbor here, you'll see start to gloop it up here, so you gotta kind of watch that. Just dab it out. Just draw it down and just add some weather to it. And that's it. And said, was this done? Now I'll just glue that on. I got it on a pop lid here. The paint that's gonna come off. That's gonna be mounted like that. Then you got a little harbor, which can be used as an objective for either you need to get to the harbor to bomb it or safety. And with the oil tanks, just a quick little that all this can be done less than an hour. You sit down, glue them on, and you're done in an hour, and you got two nice objectives. So it's I think so. It's this little kit's 1/700 scale These are accessories for if you're going to do dioramas and stuff for that scale of ships and stuff. So these come in different um, varieties. This is for the Japanese, but it really doesn't matter. I really like what's nice about the Japanese. It does look kind of their guns stuff look kind of steampunky and stuff like that. So and the ship's boats, you can add the boats to the ships and stuff like that. Another the anti-aircraft guns and stuff. So yeah, so and they are really small. So if this guy need to be very careful when you start cut them off and everything like that. But I said this stuff you can add to that size of ships. I said once I get them and start mounting them, you'll see. But it just adds a little extra flavor to them and stuff like that. So and even the airplanes, you might be able to use some of the airplanes since it is steampunk, so it doesn't follow the natural evolution of our airplanes did. So you can have different styles of aircraft that you want. So it's your world. We can do whatever you want with it. So once that stuff comes in, I'll start working on that. I'll be showing you, and we can go from there on that stuff. So I said this a couple items that you can make this little things that can spruce up your table and stuff. So until later, have you guys have a good night. So here you guys go. This is what it looks like when it's done. So this comes out a nice little port facility. Nothing fancy, but it puts a nice objective on the table. A nice heavy weathered storage facility. These are heavy weathered. You don't have to go this heavy weathered. It just depends on what you. I want this. They've been out in the elements. So just keep on modeling, guys, and just let your imagination decide what you want to do. Okay. So until later, you guys have a good day.